Good evening. I'd like to welcome you all to our annual D.A.R.E graduation. This is a very exciting evening for your youngsters, and it's a very exciting time for all of us as well. I'm extremely proud of this program. It seems like just yesterday that Officer Bobby Spencer came to me with this miraculous, wonderful idea about a program that he'd heard about and asked if I'd be interested in giving it a shot here at Woburn Street School. He went off for a 2-week trip to California where he underwent some intensive, telling me to keep quiet, doesn't like praise, intensive training on this program, and he came back just so excited about it. And when he described it to me, I thought this was something that our kids should participate in too. We did a very brief 8-week program that year, and it met with such tremendous success that the school committee very generously allowed us to expand it into the other schools. And this is the result of it. It has grown each year, and each year we see the results of your efforts as parents, as well as those of the police department and the school department working together for your children. Officer Spencer had to leave the program this year, but he's turned it over to another very capable young officer. Again, I've got to brag. This little guy was a student at Wildwood School when I was there. I can't believe it. And he's now a policeman. Can you believe? I mean, I'm not getting old. They're just letting young people on the police department. But he's done a marvelous job with this program as well. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of our children. And I'm sure you'll join with me in being very, very proud of your efforts as parents when you see the things that they've done for us this evening. And now I'd like to introduce with great pleasure our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. William Fay.
A little taller than you, Mrs. Silva. Well, it's a pleasure to be here this evening. This is the 3rd year in a row that I've been here, and I do want to let you in on a little secret. You noticed that Officer White is quite a bit younger than Officer Spencer, and actually what happened here is the 5th graders wore Officer Spencer out, and this whole promotion business and going on the night shift is really just a ruse. I mean, really, he just couldn't handle it anymore. They wore him right into the ground. This has been a fun day for me. I was here earlier today to read, I came to read one book to a 3rd grade class, and I had such a great time. I read 2, and then I told them all kinds of terrible stories about my wife. And if she ever hears about it, I'm going to be in big trouble. But we exchanged some good stories, so I heard a few things about the parents, too. Drug Abuse Resistance Education, D.A.R.E. I don't think I have to tell anyone, and I'm certainly not going to use this as a forum as to the difficulties that we're having these days with the budget. And certainly a marriage of the police department and the Wilmington Public Schools is absolutely necessary if we're going to provide these kinds of programs. We've got a lot of visionary people on that police department, certainly led by Chief Stewart. And without that kind of cooperation, as Mr. Silva said, these kinds of programs just wouldn't exist. And I really don't like to think about the consequences. The problem with a program like this is it's very hard to measure. It's almost like I describe education. All teachers are farmers. They plant seeds, and they never know for sure what's going to come up. And I think this kind of a program is the same way. You try and do all the right things, you try and get the right information out, but you're never really certain how it's going to work out. But if the history of what goes on when all of our kids get to the high school is any indication, I have to tell you, in talking to my fellow superintendents, we have probably the absolute minimal problem in drug and alcohol problems at the high school. That's not to say that they're not there, but not to the level and degree that a lot of other suburban high schools have to deal with. And I think we have to give this program an awful lot of credit as for that reason the current condition exists. I'd like to call Mrs. Silva back up again right now, and she's going to introduce the student that's been selected to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'd just like to call David Ward, one of our 5th graders, up to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. David?
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
To visibly demonstrate the type of cooperation that this program has and the support that it has, we have a number of people here on their own time this evening and indicative of the support. And I'd like to introduce them if I could. Got a couple of my bosses here this evening. I'd like to introduce the chairperson of the Wilmington School Committee, Dr. Shirley Callan. If you'd stand, Shirley. Another member of the school committee, Peggy Kane. We have two members of the Board of Selectmen here this evening. We have Dan Ballou. And we have Chet Bruce. We're pleased to have, of course, the guy who really provides the momentum for this program, the Chief of the Wilmington Police, Bobby Stewart. And the Deputy Chief of the Wilmington Police, Bernie Nally. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to call up Officer Jimmy White, the D.A.R.E. officer in charge of our program. Jim?
Good evening, and thank you for being here tonight. During the D.A.R.E. program, the students learn the consequences for using alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs like marijuana, illegal drugs, and how to say no. One of these lessons, we talked about how advertisers use different techniques to sell their products like cigarettes and alcohol. We found out that advertising techniques work to sell their products, so we thought we could think up using their techniques an anti-drug, alcohol, or tobacco skit or commercial. So tonight, we're going to have the students who design these programs themselves, their skits, show us what they've done in the last 17 weeks. First three skits that are performed by the students of Mrs. Caruso's class, and the first one takes us to the Woburn Street School playground, where a group of girls find out what happens when you experiment with pills.
I wonder where those girls are. They've been taking drugs. I don't know, but I hope they never come back. Hey, you guys want some pills?
Yeah, they're really good. They make you feel great.
No, thanks. I'd rather play basketball than to use drugs.
Come on, don't be chicken.
Can playing basketball build up your health better than using drugs? Sure, you want to join us?
Sure.
Hey, Karen. Should I call an ambulance? It's too late. She's dead.
Don't use drugs. This could happen to you.
It's better to play sports than to play with your life.
This next skit takes us to Main Street in Wilmington. It may be a familiar story. This scene could take place in any town, city, or state. The title is Drunk Driving.
Gee, look at the time. It's almost 10 o'clock, and we're on our last beer. Let's go get some more. Sure, I'll take my car. Hey, buddy, you okay? Quick, check his pulse. No pulse, he's dead. You guys are drunk.
Yeah, we're taking you in. We should have stayed home. You guys are gonna be in big trouble. Drinking and driving don't mix.
This next skit gives us a look into the inner workings of a drug buy and one method used to fight the war on drugs. This skit also shows us the consequences for the illegal actions.
You got the money? Yeah, do you have the cocaine? Yeah, it'll cost you $3 grand.
Hey, man, we can't pay for that. All we got is $2 grand, man. We can't pay for that.
I'll take it. Okay, next heist will be 421 Street. You're under arrest for illegal drug possession.
Don't use drugs.
It's a crime you'll have to pay.
These next few skits we're going to see are performed by students in Mrs. Murray's class. This skit shows us what might cause one person to experiment with drugs, like marijuana, especially left alone with their peers.
We just got home from school and we're fake wrestling. Oh no, my mother's brand new vase. She's gonna kill me. Here's some drugs to let your problems go away. Do you really think I should? My father will be home any minute now. Don't worry about it.
Brian, I'm home.
Oh no, it's my father.
What's that smell? Are you doing drugs, Brian? I told you to never do this stuff. You're in big trouble, and you broke your mother's best vase, and I'm calling your father.
Hello?
Hello, Adam?
Oh, hi, Paul.
I walked in, and my son and your son were doing drugs. Can you get over here right away?
I'll be right over. Hi, Paul. Nice to see you again. You doing drugs? What did I tell you about drugs? Never to do them. You're gonna be in deep trouble, mister. There's no way you can work your way out of this one. Maybe we should call the police to settle these two.
Hello, Wilmington Police Department. Inspector Blue speaking. Hello, Inspector Blue. This is Paul Tentindo. I walked in and my son and his friend were doing drugs. Can you get over here right away and straighten them out? I'll be right over, sir. Okay.
What's the problem, sir? These two are doing drugs. You want me to see if they have any more drugs?
Okay.
Here's some more drugs, sir. I'm gonna have to bring them in. Okay, maybe I'll settle this matter.
These are just some of the consequences of using drugs.
This next skit we're going to see is titled Top of the Hub. It's a restaurant in Boston, 50 stories high. And during this skit, you will see that the restaurant is not the only thing that's high.
Hey, you guys want some marijuana? No, I don't like that stuff. No, I'm not that stupid. You want some marijuana?
I'll try some. I don't like this stuff. Do you have anything else?
I have some cocaine.
I'll try this. I like this stuff. This is awesome.
Come on, it's getting late. We better take the elevator down.
I don't want to take the elevator today. After taking that, I think I can fly. First, let me try the window, and you guys can come too.
Only birds can fly. People can't.
The next time you want a flag, buy an airline ticket.
In this next skit, sometimes when we're in a large group, like a concert or at a school dance, you may find that drugs are present, and you'll have to make the positive choice.
We're at a dance at Wilmington High.
Want to go to the school dance?
Sure. Come on, let's go. Hey, you guys, want some cigarettes?
Sure.
No, we're going to the school dance.
Come on, let's go. Hey, you guys, why don't you come in this school dance? We're having a lot of fun. We can't. We spent all our money on cigarettes. But that was really dumb, because you could be having more fun than smoking a cigarette. Well, we'd rather smoke a cigarette than go in the dance. Well, then smoke a cigarette somewhere else. Fine, let's go. To have fun, don't smoke. It's hazardous to your health.
These next skits are performed by the students in Mrs. Wood's class. The skit we're going to see is something that we've seen on TV in the past, and it might be familiar to us. It shows us one reason why some kids might start experimenting with drugs.
Carrie Sullivan, where are you? I'm in my room, Mom. Where did you get this? Where did you learn this? I will not tolerate this in my house. You were grounded in your room for 6 months. I learned it from you. I learned it from watching you. Every day I watch you taking that kind of junk. You told me to follow your example, and I did. If you have a parent that takes drugs,
Get help. It may save their lives.
This next skit takes place at the high school, where we get an opportunity to listen in on a conversation between some students at locker break. We will find that mixing medication and alcohol can be dangerous.
We're at Wilmington High School, locker break.
Hi, Kelly. Where's Caitlin?
Oh, she's right there.
Caitlin, what's wrong?
What are those? An F?
2 Fs? Oh, my God.
I got 100 because I wasn't drunk last night.
Kelly. Well, we're having a party tonight, and we want to know if you want to come.
Sure, we'll come. Yeah, our older brother's going to be there, too. And he brought us some beer and drugs. It's going to be awesome.
Well, we really don't want to go to a party with beer and drugs there.
Oh, come on.
Don't be wimps. 6 o'clock, be there or be queer. We're at the party.
Hey, you guys.
Hi.
Want a beer?
No.
No, thanks.
Caitlin already had 16 beer. She's trying to be reckoned on 21.
Caitlin, that stuff's bad for you. You shouldn't be doing that.
She'll be fine.
Well, I don't feel too good. I think I'm just going to sit down.
I'll get you some aspirin.
Caitlin, don't mix aspirin and beer. You could get really sick or you could even die. Come on, Caitlin, quit doing that.
Caitlin, get up. I knew the first time you ever offered me beer and drugs, I never should have taken it. Come on, Caitlin, get up. If you want to be a loser, then be an abuser.
This next skit, experimenting with drugs just because you have nothing to do, can be hazardous to your health, even though it seems it's okay to do.
We're at the Woburn Street School recess. Hey, you guys, you want to come to my party tonight?
Yeah, sure. What time?
8 o'clock.
All right.
Come on in. What's up, Bob? Nothing. You want some football? Sure. Hey, Bob, come here.
Yeah?
You want a joint?
No, I don't do that kind of stuff.
Come on, Bob. Don't be a chicken.
Chicken? You guys, you can really hurt yourself.
Come on, guys. Let's get out of here. This is stupid.
You guys, you can really hurt yourself. If you want to score high points in life, don't use drugs.
This last skit is similar to one we seen a minute ago, but it was performed so well and the message is so important, I thought it could be shown one more time.
Megan Falzone, Megan Elizabeth Falzone, where are you?
I'm in my room studying, Mom. Come on in.
What is this? Where'd you get this? Where'd you learn to do this? Look me in the eye and tell me where'd you learn to do this, because I always taught you right. Do you want to be a junkie when you grow up? Do you? Tell me.
I learned it from you. I learned it from watching you. Every day I see you smoking marijuana and sniffing cocaine. How do you expect me not to follow your example and to not take drugs? Do you think I'm blind? Do you think I don't see you? Well, I do. I'm not the junkie you are. I learned from watching you.
If you or anyone you know takes drugs,
Get help.
Okay, something now we're going to do is a little special, and none of the children have seen this in the rehearsal. We're going to see something very special on the screen. Maybe some familiar faces, and also some new faces that we haven't seen before. This next part of the ceremony gives me great pleasure to introduce our next guest. This person's foresight has made it possible for the D.A.R.E program to become a reality in Wilmington. His commitment is demonstrated through programs like D.A.R.E. Under his directive, we will continue to win a battle against the drug war. Chief Bobby Ian Stewart.
Thank you, Whitey. I have to say one thing. Whitey did a heck of a job and stepped into some very, very big shoes to fill. And he did a fantastic job doing so. However, that would not have been certainly not have been possible without the cooperation we have from the schools. I can't say enough about that. Mr. Fay and Mr. Silva has already spoken about the fantastic cooperation we have with the police department and the schools. What Mr. Fay has said is quite true, and I think we are unique in one way. Our school system is far more drug-free and has far fewer problems than many of our communities. But because of our interest and our concern for our kids, mine and Mr. Fay's, Mrs. Silva and her teachers, we have a commitment to you as young people that we are going to continue to fight the war on drugs and alcohol abuse, and that you are our frontline soldiers. In saying my thanks, I don't think this would have been possible. The Woburn Street School is perhaps one of the most special places that we come to. As Mrs. Silva had said, we started here. 4 years ago, we graduated our first class. Today, those students are freshmen in high school. I think we have made some terrific inroads into providing a better environment, a better quality of life for these students in the classroom, on the campus, and in the community. It's not a police department effort. It's not a school effort. It's a community effort. But as I'm saying thanks, perhaps you parents are the second most important people I have to thank, because you allowed your students to participate in this program. And without your support, it would not be a success. But the people who I have to thank most are you boys and girls. And thank you for your efforts. Every year when I come here, I just am amazed at the skits that you put on. And I have to say that this year's skits are the finest skits that I've seen yet in any D.A.R.E program. You did a fantastic job. It's that little extra enthusiasm that I think rubs off of some of your teachers and your principals and your fellow students that makes that happen in this school. But you did a fantastic job. Officer White and you folks talked about a war on drugs, a war on crime. The police are fighting one phase of that war. Basically, if you think of the recent war in the Middle East, we are kind of like Desert Shield. All we can do is try to hope, through enforcement, that the situation does not get worse. The real battle against the war on drugs is being fought right now by you and your fellow classmates and students like you nationwide. It's through you that we will win that war on drugs. An army of drug enforcement agents couldn't eliminate the Medellin and Cali cartels, which are the major cocaine cartels in Colombia and South America. But you young people are the ones who can put them out of business. If you do not buy their product, they will go out of business. You can do what all of law enforcement cannot do. You can put the druggies out of business. I'm looking forward to you to help me in that battle, and I know you will. The other message in my closing comments here tonight, the one thing I want you to take with you as you go into the intermediate school next year, is the knowledge that there are 3 other classes in that intermediate school who have the same material that you've had, been taught to say no. You're not alone. Many years ago, we talk about peer pressure. You might have thought that there were some real bad guys up in the intermediate school and in high school, and that they were the majority, mainly because they were the loudest. They were never the majority. But today, you people are the majority. The people who want to say no. The people who do not want to see their friends die, either from drugs or alcohol. Take that with you. Remember that the strongest thing that you have is that friend beside you who thinks the same way you do. I thank you again very much.
Thank you, Chief. This part of the ceremony, I'd like to recognize each student for their completion and lifelong commitment to D.A.R.E. by presenting each one with a diploma. If you would like to take pictures while they're having their diplomas handed to them, you may, and just hold the applause until the end, and we can go right through this. We're going to start with Mrs. Caruso's class.
Excuse me, may we invite our visiting dignitaries to join us on the stage to congratulate these young people for their endeavors?
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call my class forward now, starting with Julie Babineau. Elona Burlick. Kristen Bruno. Earl Burns. Bethany Carr. Matthew Garrett. Matthew Hackett. Michael Lavita. Karen MacArthur. Eric McBride. Craig McLaren. Sarah McMahon. Dorothy Medeiros. Matthew Muse. Jamie Pavlidis. Shannon Phillips. Jeffrey Reese. Matthew Rowe. Jennifer Souza. Sean Sullivan. Scott Swazinski. Kristen Tabron. Ryan Trinchera. Alex Belagor. Adam Volpe. And David Ward. Now Mrs. Murray will introduce her class. Rory Ballou. Leanne Bento. Christopher Burns. Jamie Campbell. Leslie Cannon. Darren Catalfamo. Kevin Chappie. Patrick Corbett. Christine Crowley. Giovanni Cudia. Angela Fiorenza. Michael Gabati. Brian Godin. Jason Guy. Melissa Hawley. Melissa Hogue. Patricia Kane. Alyssa Mason. Jennifer Moniz. Hung Nguyen. Jason Pinto. Emily Pratt. Catherine Rich. Matthew Rutledge. Christy Sawyer. Paul Tintindo. Adam Vogel. And now Mrs. Fleming will introduce Mrs. Woods' class.
Stephanie Adamchek. Bob Anderson. Kelly Barden. Danny Bennett. John Breon. Melissa Connell. Randy Dwan. Nicole Ellis. Megan Falzone. Stacy Kendall. Devin Lyman. Thomas Morgan. Kyle O'Donnell. Edward Olette. George Phillips. Rebecca Reed. Joshua Saulnier. Kerry Sullivan. Peter Vachon. Brian Vassar, and Caitlin Wright.
As we said earlier, a program such as this could not possibly work without the cooperation of a very dedicated teaching staff. And I'd like to take this time to introduce to you the teachers who have consistently, year after year, supported this program and done a wonderful job with us. Mrs. Donna Caruso, Mrs. Judy Ann Murray, and unfortunately, Mrs. Woods has had to be absent due to illness, but we have in her place one of our very, very best friends, substitutes, somebody that's always here when we need her, Mrs. Peggy Fleming. Peggy, thank you.
Okay, this little part that I get to speak and tell you what I like to talk about tonight. I'd like to thank everyone here tonight, first of all, for making this a wonderful D.A.R.E graduation. I'd like to take a moment and talk about the students, the faculty, and the D.A.R.E program. The past 17 weeks has been an enlightening experience for me, being the new D.A.R.E officer. I found that the students had many questions about tobacco, alcohol, and illegal drugs, which seemed confusing for them at first, before this program started. With this graduation tonight, they have shown us, by their performances on stage and their overall enthusiasm, that the D.A.R.E program works. The things each student has learned will inspire them their entire life. They will be able to pass their knowledge on to their children. To give you an example that we must be on the right track, I'd like to read part of a speech written by an 8th grade student who was formerly a D.A.R.E student here, and it now goes to the West Intermediate School, who assisted me on a lesson on role models. His speech was written a few months ago before the Iraq War had ended. And he says in his speech, "The war against drugs is almost like the war against Iraq. Just like Saddam Hussein, drugs have occupied a territory where they shouldn't, and that place is the school system. Now, we have the better forces, and we can beat this thing, but they got a few tricks up their sleeve. They have a lot of blind support, but it's fading fast. Blind support means people who follow something for reasons they either don't know or don't care about. As in every war, there are casualties, and in this war, the casualties are unexpected kids. If we really try and have help from our allies, we can beat this thing, and it starts with you." I think this sums up some of the feelings of us tonight here. And like many things in life, it doesn't come easy. With family support as role models, and with the help of the school system and law enforcement, we can beat this monster called drug abuse. And in closing, I'd just like to thank Mrs. Silva and the faculty here at the Woburn Street School for making me feel welcome the last 17 weeks, and for being flexible so the D.A.R.E program could progress smoothly. I'd like to thank Mrs. Caruso, Mrs. Murray, and Mrs. Woods for helping the past 17 weeks and dedicating many hours preparing these students for the ceremony. This dedication to the D.A.R.E program by these teachers is just one fine example of the quality education your children receive here at the Woburn Street School. I would like to thank the Chief and the other town officials who are present tonight for showing their support for the D.A.R.E program. And leaving the best for last, I would like to thank each and every student for making me feel like one of their best friends. Okay, so we had something special. All week I was telling them we had something special. They kept asking me, "What is it, Officer White? Is it? What is it?" I said I couldn't tell you because I didn't want it to slip out. And now I'd like to have the Chief to come back up here. He has a few words he'd like to say.
Now that I have my jacket on correct, I don't know if anyone noticed before, but it was not buttoned properly. And the guys in car 54 look better than the chief did. So, but on perhaps one of the most serious notes, other than my comments to you earlier, for the last several years, every time we had a graduation or we had a special event, a speaking event, there was an officer who always got up and said many, many kind things about me, and most of them were true. But tonight is a night when myself, the Wilmington Police Department, and the town of Wilmington want to pay tribute to an officer on this department who has contributed more for the young people in this community than anyone else that I know of. That person is now Sergeant Spencer. I had planned, as of last year sometime, to give him a commendation for the work he did as a juvenile officer in Wilmington. And I thought, when would be the most appropriate time to do that? This D.A.R.E program was one of the most important things that he did as a juvenile officer in this town. And I felt, starting it here at the Woburn Street School, one of his most favorite schools, was the ideal place to commend Officer Spencer for the work that he did. I won't take too much of your time, but I think it's important that many of you know that this is only one of the many programs that Bob Spencer was involved with. In the years from 1982 to 1990, when he was promoted to sergeant, he talked to everyone who would listen to him about drug awareness, alcohol abuse, spoke in churches, spoke at high schools, spoke almost anywhere, as I say, that they would listen. But in his duties, which go way beyond this, he deals with many of the sadder aspects of a juvenile officer's job. Many of the things, the tragic things that Bobby had to deal with over those years, only he and I could share because of the sensitive nature of them, the confidential aspect of the case. He handled those very traumatic cases with the greatest deal of professionalism that I know of. And because of this, we want to commend Sergeant Spencer tonight. So I would like to have Selectman Blue come forward also, and Sergeant Spencer. We've been planning this for a couple of months, so, but I have to say that these citations, sometimes they get written last minute. Thanks to the deputy chief, he proofread it and added his comments as well, so if there's any mistakes, it's his fault. Date March 7th, 1991. Sergeant Robert H. Spencer, Jr., commendation. On behalf of the Wilmington Police Department and the citizens of the town of Wilmington, we wish to commend you for your outstanding performance of duty as juvenile officer from 1982 through 1990. Your professionalism and dedication to these duties has greatly improved the quality of life and future expectations for the young of the town of Wilmington. Your personal and professional commitment to the youth of the community is well known. The drug and alcohol abuse prevention programs, which were established through your efforts, will serve the community well beyond the end of our careers. For this, we are sincerely grateful. Your dedication and commitment to the goals of the Massachusetts Juvenile Police Officers Association is recognized throughout the state of Massachusetts. The success of the various programs sponsored by the Juvenile Officers Association during your tenure as president is but another example of your dedication to duty. We extend to you our heartfelt appreciation for your devotion and dedication to duty and for your contributions toward a more professional police department. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. And this is a first also. And this didn't come out of town budget money. This is from the sponsors of D.A.R.E and the juvenile. But something you wanted was some brochures from Maine. Here's a gift certificate for you and your wife for a weekend.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the chief and everybody else here for the recognition they gave me, but coming here tonight and watching the new D.A.R.E officer and the usual strong and consistent effort that the teachers in this particular school, along with the principal and the kids, and there is a special feeling here at this particular school because this is where we started. I have no concerns about this program going on and getting better. As far as I'm concerned, Jimmy White, the new D.A.R.E officer, has taken the D.A.R.E program a step beyond where I was. I wish us all luck, and I hope the program continues on for many, many years in the future. Thank you very much, and good night.
It serves me pleasure to be here on behalf of my colleagues of the Wilmington Board of Selectmen and Chairman Bob Doucette, and on behalf of all of the people in the entire town of Wilmington tonight. I have this letter of accommodation and to Robert Spencer, and I'd like to read it. On behalf of the citizens of the town of Wilmington, the Board of Selectmen wish to commend you for the devoted service you have performed in educating our youth to better understand the problems associated with harmful drugs. During the course of your career as a police officer and juvenile officer, you have been involved in numerous programs dealing with drug and alcohol abuse. In 1985, you reviewed the Drug Abuse Resistance Education Program, D.A.R.E, and upon your strong recommendation and involvement, it was funded by the citizens of Wilmington. In 1987, you were named D.A.R.E Director and Instructor for the town, enabling you to share your knowledge with the school children of Wilmington. In recognition of your outstanding accomplishments and dedication, the town thanks you. We are indeed fortunate to have you numbered among our citizens. Presented this day, March 7th, 1991, signed Robert L. Doucette, Chairman, Board of Selectmen. Congratulations, Bob.
I'm very proud to receive this recommendation from the town, but I do receive it on behalf of the entire Wilmington Police Department because one individual by himself cannot be successful in the community. You have people standing right here from my department who've assisted a great deal. We have Pat King, the new juvenile officer, right in front of me, Bobby Shelley, the safety officer, up back, Chief Stewart. We have retired members here. Bernie Nally, our deputy chief, is here. So you can see there's many men involved in this effort in the community to make it a better life for your kids. I do accept this, and I thank you very much. Good night.
Okay, I just would like to, at this moment, this is called our deer bear, Yogi the deer bear. This has been our mascot. This has been our mascot since the beginning of our program. And what I want is you fifth graders to find a nice home for them right here at the school. And I'll put this, Mrs. Caruso can hold it for now, and everybody can find a nice spot over the next couple weeks to keep him nice and fat the way he is now. Thank you. And again, I'd like to thank everybody here that came tonight because it shows your dedication, and it wouldn't be possible without the support of the families and the members of the town officials, teachers, and the children. Now what I'd like to do is they're going to give a message to their parents. I have them stand up. Oh, I have something special right here. Something special for me.
Officer White, we'd like to give you this present from all the fifth graders from our thanks.
All right, thank you. how did you know I wanted to go to Maine? Gift certificate, beautiful. Thank you very much. And I'll read the card, hopefully, here. A thank you card. Officer White, with sincere appreciation for your thoughtfulness. Thank you for a wonderful year. Love the Woburn Street 5th grade. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, now, like I was saying, we will all stand up, and the children are going to give a message to the parents. After they're done with their message, the program is over. There's refreshments that was provided by the Woburn Street PAC, and I want to thank them for their great effort every year, and this year's no exception. And I will play the music.